Hey, it's John and Mike, brew-shoots.com, and we have some brown goodness here in front of us. I think that Mike poured a couple of these beers for us to taste and talk about. I think, he said, I heard him whisper, that this is a second take on the Kentucky Common. I remember you making this a while back. It was sort of a, hey,
that's a while ago. This
is a style that I know is, I guess, getting some press, some word of mouth.
Yeah, a while back. I don't know, it's gotten pretty quiet, but as we've talked about before, in a world that's dominated by that other beer style, why not brew these other styles and keep life interesting for yourself as a home brewer?
Yeah, maybe.
And keep your palate alive
even
as
without
a beer
jar.
drinker.
You don't need to even need a jar to do that. All right, so talk about the recipe for this Kentucky Common.
This is a Kentucky Common. Yeah, my recipe says Kentucky Common 4, but I think I've only ever brewed it twice. So I think there's some other iterations. I was like, no, we're not going to brew that
brewed, but here it is.
Maybe I brewed it and was like, this is bad, and poured it out.
Got it.
So here we go. Recipe. This is, I'm brewing this in my small batch size. It's 3.5 gallons, but this is, I've been using a lot of Briess Brewers malt, American two-row. So that's 4 3/4 pound. Then it's 1.5 pounds of flaked corn. It's 5 ounces of Crystal 40.
Okay.
And then just 3 ounces, just a touch of midnight wheat, just to drive the color a little deeper.
Yep. For
what the BJCP sort of gives as a guidance and stuff like that. I mash this just simply at 154 for middle of the road, whatever.
Yep.
I figured all that corn, I didn't want to get too dry on me. So there's that. And then this is almost a full ounce of Liberty, 5% alpha acid at 60 minutes. And then another dose, same thing, almost 1 ounce at 20 grams at 10 minutes. Yep. So I went with the Liberty thing because this beer is like an evolutionary offshoot, if you will, of cream ale. It has a higher degree of adjunct than a cream ale does.
Yeah.
But my cream ale, I really enjoy the Liberty hops. And last time I did this, I didn't use Liberty hops. So I wanted to sort of bring those two things together. And then I just wanted it to be super clean. And so looking at yeast I had in inventory here in the basement, I brewed this with Novalager.
Hey, how about that?
To be as clean as I could make it.
Nice.
So, and this thing fermented for about almost 20 days at just simply 68 degrees, because that's what I do.
It's funny. Yeah, that Novalager is bringing its characteristic to this beer. That's for sure. And definitely in the finish.
Oh yeah, starting gravity on this was 10. It got a little. Somehow it got a little away from me. It was about 1057, and it finished at 1016. So that high final gravity is because of the slightly higher starting gravity. I was probably really more shooting for 1050. But anyway, the ABV is about almost 5.5%.
The body's medium to medium low. It's interesting. 1016 kind of.
Yeah, I think that's the corn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Thinning it out.
I think so. Well, let's start with the appearance. Kind of a brown color, a little some red highlights to it, hazy, kind of an off-white head. On the aroma, getting some of that corn, I think.
I agree.
Okay. And then a little bit of the, so you said caramel 40?
Yep.
Yep. Getting some of that too. Trying to get some.
And that's historical.
Yep, sure.
By the couple of these guys, I can't remember the names of the guys who did a lot of research on this, and brought it back to in the forefront.
Yeah, not getting a lot of the hops, but maybe just a little bit there, a little herbal note.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was definitely sipping this a lot when you were talking, so it was good. Took me a while to get my palate adjusted to it, but once it's there, excuse me, really smooth drinking, as you can tell. Like as I'm getting excited to talk about it, suddenly going down my other pipe. So let's see, really kind of starts with that. Yeah, it's really kind of that strong, I would say, caramel malt backbone. So I think that corn really does dry it out so that you have sort of this nice medley of different kind of grainy flavors and such. Backed with, I wish, I always comment when you use Liberty hops in your cream ale, I'm like, oh, yay, I definitely can pick it out. This is a little more muted maybe because there is...
I think that the dark color, the dark malt of it is sort of a little bit...
It's just hiding it a little bit, but it's there. It's there. It's certainly... I love that hop too. So it's pleasant.
It's a great hop for lighter beers for sure. This is a light beer. It's sort of like an American version of Shorts beer, right? Where if you were to taste it blind, you wouldn't really think that you're drinking a darker beer, right?
Sure.
Because it doesn't have that character. One thing that's really interesting about this beer is that, so I used Caramel 40, and it's only 5 ounces in a 3.5 gallon batch. So, let's say that's probably 3/4 of a pound in a normal 5.5 gallon batch, which is not a ton for Crystal 40, but this color is pretty dark for Crystal 40. This weekend, so this was long after I brewed this. So you mentioned like caramel flavor, right? This weekend I have I've just received some Caramel 60 that I was adding to my inventory. And I was looking at my Caramel 40.
Oh boy.
And looking at this Caramel 60 and going, this 40
is darker.
Looks darker than that 60.
Yeah,
so I have a feeling that maybe I didn't actually get 40. It certainly isn't 60.
Yeah.
It could actually be 80. That would be the next thing that the homebrew shop would be carrying. Or something, or maybe like it's English, like medium crystal, which would be about, 60 something.
Plus.
I don't know. But the two malts, just the grains alone, it looks too dark for Crystal 40. And I didn't notice at the time when I brewed it because I was throwing it together and just trying to get a brew going. But yeah, so I'm wondering if that extra caramel oomph is because this is not
40. It's actually
40.
Something a little darker.
Yeah,
that's funny. Well, I mean, the eye of the your eye is going to tell you that this is darker than 60. So even if the label says it's 40, it's probably something else. Right?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So, but it still holds up as a Kentucky Common. I mean, it's got the color, it's got a cleanness to it as far as the fermentation goes.
Yeah.
And the body is light from the corn. There's a little bit of corn on the aroma, and it's pretty straightforward drinking wise.
Yeah, I think it's an easy drinker for sure. What was your overall goal for this beer? Just that kind of thing. Nice kind of a change of pace for the fall season.
Yeah, I think one of the last times I made this, I used like 20-something% corn. I just felt like for me, it was just too much corn.
Yeah.
Right? And so I wanted to walk that line between not being the amount of corn I would normally throw into like a cream ale, but enough corn that it's going to dry it out significantly and create that Kentucky Common effect.
I see.
So
cool.
And who really knows what that is, actually, right? This is a sort of a lost beer style, and just something I was playing with ingredients that I sort of had. I just wanted to brew something different, so.
Well, that you got
Keep it real here on the channel.
Yeah, that is true. Well, this is going to be nice. It's going to be definitely good as the weather around here in the northern hemisphere. It gets a little bit cooler and so on. This is a good one. I think this is a great autumn beer, good one. I'm trying to remember how the other one came out. I think I was just more in love with the idea that this was a style I hadn't had before, and it was like kind of gathering data. This one, it's good. I'm trying to remember how this one compared to that one. Certainly, this is 4 of ones that were at least conceived in the journal. But in terms of sipping one, this is the second one, and this is definitely a nice sequel to the one we had earlier. So good stuff.
There we go.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this, learned a little bit about the recipe and the style. This is certainly something that you should try at home. If you're looking for something new and different to brew this fall season, try a Kentucky Common. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. We do this kind of thing every single week. For John and Mike, brew-dudes.com. Brew on.
Cheers.